Here we go again. There's no reason a little lady needs to be cleaning off the snow off of her car. A little lady shouldn't be doing this. It's a man's job. It's a man's job. A job for a man. And here I am. Manless.
I want a provider husband is a statement you do not say out loud. You don't say that out loud to the person that you're dating. Hear me out. When you're first introduced to someone, or like y'all are not dating yet, y'all are not even like really acquaintances yet, and you're already asking for money, you're a homeless person. That's what homeless people do. I'm sorry. That is what homeless people do, is they see you and they don't know you and they put their hand out and ask you for money. So when you're dating and you hardly know a guy and you're already going on and on and on about like you need a provider man, you want, or like, that's so weird. And I never had that I feel like, and hear me out, we're gonna address this. Real women, not real women, but women with the real standard of like provider husband, and men who are providers, there never needs to be a conversation between the two. Like, me and my boyfriend never sat down and were like that. Like, you know, like, I feel like if you have to have the conversation, then it's not gonna, it's not it. It's not it. Like, you shouldn't have to convince or like tell your story on why you want that, or try to convince someone that they need to be that for you. It's like, you are if you are, and you're not if you're not. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could get a seat. A girl like me, I wish I could get a seat. My legs are killing, you know. I wish I could get a seat.
Me too.
Argue that men who think that they're a prize always have to kind of date down. If you think you are the prize as a man, you're gonna end up with someone who is not, I guess, as good looking as you could probably pull. But if you want to make a woman feel good, you're always gonna get a girl who's like hotter and maybe even like out of your league. So men, the choice is yours.
Yo, real talk, imagine doing this in the middle of an argument.
That's nice. That's good. That's nice.
What's wrong with
That's
you?
nice.
That's why your music not going nowhere.
Oh.
You're smoking weed.
Oh.
You're popping
Oh.
out with your friends.
Oh.
Yo.
That's nice. That's good. That's nice.
Yo, I'm sorry, but this shit is sending me into a great place at that. Cause yo, she's going off. I don't know what she's going off about, but you could tell she switches gears when she starts mentioning something that has nothing to do with the argument. When she says, that's why your music ain't never gonna go nowhere. Hating ass. But he takes that with grace. He doesn't scream back at her. He doesn't do none of that. He starts harmonizing. He starts singing. He starts doing the same she says he ain't never gonna be for, and just throwing it right back at her. Fueling the fire, but he ain't screaming. He ain't doing some shit. He ain't saying something he probably will regret. He's just singing it. And not for nothing, I can't sing for shit. This sound actually alright mid-argument. And yo, his faces are hilarious, dog. But damn, what is it about women that'll say some shit that has nothing to do with the argument and just tear you down? Just to tear you down, and then like this dude, this brother right here, just, I bet. Yo, this shit is gold. Shout out to this man, dog. Just remember, in the heat of battle, don't stoop down. Just move forward.
Well, you know, I'd rather him do this than what the alternative might be. And, you know, the way she was going off in the background, all that she was doing, like I said, I would rather him do this than what he could be doing to her. And that's knocking her clean out.
Oh, I got something to say to you baby mamas that be keeping y'all kids away from their daddies. If these fathers not putting your child in harm's way, why the fuck are you keeping their kids away from them? Hear me out with this. Y'all are so selfish. Seriously. And it's like y'all choose to be single mamas. Do y'all realize that? Like, am I the only one that think like this? Y'all is slow. Like, it's no reason in the world for you to keep your kids away from their father, except if they're doing harm to your child. Outside of that, if they not being a parent that you want them to be, That's not a reason for you to keep their kid away from them. Do y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Stop keeping y'all mother kids away from their fathers, okay? Y'all making it hard on y'all self. I don't give what he did and what he didn't do. I don't give up his child support. He's still supposed to be able to get his kids. Y'all so irritated. I'm tired of this subject. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sick of it. You complain, but that's... If he ain't putting your kid in harm's way, why the fuck you ain't letting him get his kids? Be real. Ask yourself. Because he ain't give you a couple of dollars, please, you still was going to have to be their mama regardless. You knew what you signed up for when you signed up for it. Like, let's be real. Like, y'all mothers is tripped out in real time. Stop keeping these kids away from their daddies. That's his problem that he's going to have to deal with if he ain't doing nothing for them kids. You know what I'm saying? Don't close the door off to him because he ain't do what you wanted him to do.
Arguing with an emotional woman is a losing game always. Not because she's stupid, not because she's wrong, but because the argument was never about logic to begin with. You come in with the facts, she comes in with the feelings, and feelings don't debate, they override. She is not listening to understand you. She's listening to reload because every word that you say becomes ammo. Every explanation turns into leverage. Every attempt to clear things up just digs you even deeper. And by the end of it all, facts are buried, guilt is now here, and somehow you're the villain and she's the victim. That is not a discussion. That is emotional chaos. And here's what men don't want to hear. The more you argue and snap back, the weaker you look. Strong men do not chase validation through debates. They don't try to win emotionally charged conversations. They also don't need to prove reality to somebody who's already decided how they feel. Silence does what logic never will.
I believe in cardboard box love, right? Like if I was to meet a woman today, I don't ask myself, I don't get caught up on how she looks. I told you I'm big on how she makes me feel, but I will always ask myself because I've had an abundance of money and I've had nothing. I say, if we didn't have anything, would we be happy inside of a cardboard box? Like if we didn't have and be like, you know what, but this is one hell of a box. Like you might like, that's the type of love that I've always wanted, right? So for money, as long as my bills are paid and I have a roof over my head, I will give my wife every penny in my bank account because I'm going to figure money out. That's a light thing.
That's
the
easy
things
as
that's
hell.
hard to figure out is having somebody loyal, having somebody that loves you, having somebody that pours into you, having somebody that builds you up when you don't feel buildable at the moment. You dig what I'm saying?
Man, this is the Nothing But the Truth live podcast.
If you participate in hookup culture, your worth is lower. Yep, sorry. You don't get to call yourself a Louis Vuitton bag when you cost $20. You don't get to say you're a high value woman when it costs you meeting you at the bar. Same goes for men. You have 40 bodies. You're not rare. You're easy to have. So you're lower value. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you have a lack of respect for yourself. So grow up and respect yourself because girls, especially, you're being manipulated into thinking you love sex and you love giving your body away and it's empowering for you to go home with the guy from the bar. No, it's not. It literally breaks my heart. It's so sad. It's so gross. And then you're like, yeah, I'm so miserable and anxious and depressed. No wonder. You're literally tying your soul to all these random guys and exchanging energies when you don't even know them. And you literally don't even know the first thing about them. And you met them drunk at a bar and then giving them the most intimate parts of yourself. Like, no, you're depressed. And then you spend all day talking about boys. It's like your favorite topic. Yet you're constantly just complaining, saying you hate men and you're miserable. You have to make different decisions if you want a different outcome. You're not meeting your husband and you hate all men because you attract the absolute worst ones because you're not being a great woman either. All men don't suck. Men are actually the best. Boys suck. And you're not meeting any men because you keep engaging with little boys because you are also not a high value woman. And if you're one of the rare ones who actually gets this, then come join our community of girls because it's just the best being surrounded by like-minded people. Honestly, like, thank God because it's so rare. Love you. Follow for more. Mwah.
And you start to act crazy, tell them all the medication you're on, and then you get a free dinner.
Here's how to avoid being used. If you are a woman, secure investment and presentability. Have a public relationship. Make sure that he's giving you what he would give a keeper. If you are a man, secure sexual interest. Make sure this is here. Don't count on it coming later. You cannot invest or presentability your way into sexual interest. These are the things that make her excited about you. These are the things that make her comfortable with you. You cannot comfort your way into interest.
Am I the asshole for ending my relationship after my girlfriend said no to marriage?
Okay.
I'm a 41-year-old male and I've been dating my ex-girlfriend who's 39 for nearly 6 years. Our relationship was a good one. 4 years ago, I informed her family and friends I was going to propose to her while we were on a family vacation and receive their blessing and their well wishes. The night I proposed, I tried to make the night as memorable and perfect as possible. I asked her out for a nice dinner surrounded by family, and she said, "No, not yet anyways." I was quite hurt, honestly, and went back to our room to think things out and not overreact. A few hours later, she came to the room and asked me what was wrong and why I left the group. We had a fairly long conversation as to my feelings and her reasons for denying my proposal. Turns out she didn't think that I was ready for the commitment just yet. So I took her thoughts to heart and informed her I understood her reasoning. However, I was raised in a way where, quote unquote, you take a no for a no, not a maybe or a next time.
All right now.
She asked me to just wait a bit longer until we were in a stable place, and I agreed. 8 to 10 months later, she started dropping hints that she was ready to be married. I can't wait for our wedding. Our wedding is going to be spectacular. I'm so looking forward to my dad walking me down the aisle, etc. A little over a year since my first proposal, I decided to propose again. This time, just us together after a wonderful date night. When I opened the ring box, she got really quiet and once again said, "No."
Oh, hell no.
Not yet. Maybe a little bit more down the line.
Okay. All right.
After the second refusal, I fell out of love with her.
All right.
It sounds cold, but it was the truth. We got back home. I slept in our guest bedroom and spent the rest of the night thinking of our relationship. The next morning, she asked why I didn't sleep in our bedroom, and I told her the truth and informed her that I think we need to just end the relationship. I informed her that I take marriage very seriously and I do not want to be led on. And this time, this no was the final no on the subject. I gave her a month to find a new place to live, and since then I have been receiving text messages and emails from her friends and family informing me I am a heartless bastard and trying to get me to forgive her and ask her one more time and not to be a callous asshole. My friends have my back on this and understand why I ended the relationship. But am I the asshole?
Hell
Absolutely
no.
not.
Look here.
Absolutely not.
Look here.
Not you proposing
Okay,
two
hold on.
times.
Hold on. The first time, she broke his spirit a little bit.
Yeah, but he got back on the horse.
But he clearly liked her.
Yeah, he loves her.
He loved her.
He loved her.
And he wanted to see if first of all, how you gonna tell me when I'm ready? I don't think you're ready. How you gonna know I'm
Just
ready?
say you not ready.
That's right.
Just say you're not.
Don't project over here.
See, this
don't
is one of
project
those.
over
Right.
here.
This is one of those
Right?
situations where she just gonna have to propose to him.
Well, I think she's probably trying to hold him in place. She can kind of sense he's getting antsy. So I'm going to throw this out here because I know you want marriage and we're close. But, you know, I'm doing something else with some other guy. Maybe she's got some other guy out there that she wants to explore things with. You're a good guy, but I think he's getting close. I see you getting antsy. So it's kind of like I got to go in between. I'm kind of waiting on him. He should have been done by now, but 8 to 10 months later, he's still messing around. But he's a good guy. He's telling me we're going to get married. But over here, I got this guy who wants to get married now. You're playing both sides of the field is what it sounds like to me. I mean, obviously, that could be wrong. That's a way out in left field opinion. But it looks or it sounds like you're trying to hold him in place, waiting on something else to come through, right? I don't understand, you know, why you would text him and say, well, you're the jerk for doing X, Y, and Z. She turned him down twice. After starting to talk about marriage. Well, I was just talking about the future, this. You already know that I want to marry you. I've made my intentions clear. Why are we still going through this song and dance? Stop playing around. You did the right thing.
Why do a lot of these in their 20s think it's an insult when they call bitches like us, 30s, 40s, 50s, old? Especially when some of us look younger than you. We aging like fine wine, and some of y'all bitches still look like grape juice. I get it, the alcohol, Percocet, and the community boyfriend you're with got you stressed. We're not old, we're seasoned, and baby, seasoning makes everything better. Don't hate, put the alcohol down and hydrate, and maybe you'll look as good as we do at our age. Middle-aged? No. Midlife masterpiece. You can call us valuable, vintage, rare, classic. Either way, still in demand. Some of us got decades on y'all, and we still snatching compliments daily. Some of y'all youngins been in the club since I was 16 years old with a fake ID and it shows. Y'all look stressed. Youth is cute, but being grown is powerful. We don't chase trends, we set standards. And they call it old, we prefer legendary. Time has blessed us, not stressed us. Some of y'all, you shouldn't have that many wrinkles at your age, babes. Just saying. Watch your mouth.
Any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his accounts or has separate accounts, that's a red flag. His money is our money and my money is my money.
I have a date with this guy tomorrow, and he just asked me what my budget was so he could pick a nice restaurant for us. Budget? Sugar Mummy says, let's go to the comments. 58 Misha says, sounds like he's not used to courting. Sky Dior says, ain't no budget when we eating. Woo! That's a cold game. Low Key Shay laughs. Dreamer K says, just be happy he texted before actually going there. That's a fact. Let me tell you something. It's just a shame you got to look forward to things like that. Dear Billy says, my budget is hell. Not go there. Let me tell you something, Queen. Number one, I would love an update. I would love to know if you actually went on a date. What did you tell this brother after he said that? And what was the action after that happened? Because this is crazy. For him to ask you your budget also lets you know where he is financially. He's letting you know that he's the baddie. You know what I mean? He's the Beyonce in a relationship is what he's telling you. So get your funds together because y'all are in for him being treated. You understand? Don't let him tell you y'all going to a movie. He needs your card to get the tickets online so he can pick the seats. You know, you are in for a consistent amount of disappointment. You deal with a brother like that. Ladies, have y'all ever been on a date where a guy expected you to pay without y'all discussing it first? Have y'all ever been in a situation where a guy was like, yeah, so where you taking me? When I was single and I was dating, I let women know, hey, I ain't got no bread. So we can go a couple of places that don't cost anything, or we can not go at all. I just want to let you know where I am financially. And the last young lady I told that to, put a ring on her finger. You know what I'm talking about? She believed in the potential and it worked out. I'm not saying that's going to work out with everybody, but a lot of us brothers deserve that chance because it may, you know? And I know there are a lot of queens that hold their brothers down. But with that said, Sugar Mummy, did you go on a date? What did he say? Please, someone find this queen here on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or YouTube and put her in the comments. I would love an update.
Well, modern women don't really like it when they're the B side. They always used to be in the A. Even when, they, well, anyways, they're always used to being the A side and not the B.
Yeah, so just two things that I want to say really quick. At a certain point or a certain age, if you're still in situationships, you're just a loser. If you are still like in your healing girl era and basically in your hoe phase, you're a loser. At some point, you have to grow the hell up. If you are in several relationships where every single man that is your ex was abusive, then you are the problem. It's not the other way around. It can't always be the men are problems because at a certain age, you are the loser. You are the loser that cannot communicate. You are the loser that wants to blame all of your issues on mental health issues, but never actually fixes the problem because your go-to is TikTok diagnosis that make you feel like you're, mentally ill, and that's your excuse for everything rather than like actually owning your. Because let's just put this into perspective. If you met a man that was like way older than you and he was still right? Y'all would be calling him a loser, right? So why is that not the same concept for women who engage in, rosters, situationships? You can't settle down. You get on social media. You bash every single guy you've ever been with. You don't know like any kind of etiquette when it comes to dating because it's always a man's fault. That makes you a loser, especially at a certain age. I said what I said. Okay, bye.
I don't see videos of men putting down women. I don't see it. We as women, we feel like our power is meant to put out this image of how we can influence the world. Women are the most influential at this point. We influence people by just existing. We're so beautiful. Oh, what makeup do you wear? Oh, how do you do your hair? We're so influential just by existing, right? So we take that influence and we put it into social media and disrespect men. We influence the younger women, the younger girls to think that every man is bad.
I always say I want to meet my man in the wild, and I'm doing Christmas shopping, and a man in the wild approaches me, and I clench my purse like I'm getting mugged. He's like, "Are you okay?" I didn't mean to scare you. I just think you're really beautiful. I'm not ready.
A male content creator that I follow asked, if women think the bar is in hell because men are not holding on to traditional masculine standards, then where do you think the bar is for women? I was too stunned to speak. What do you do?
I haven't even said nothing yet.
And what are some things you look for in a man?
Look now. We ain't about to do all this. I ain't even said nothing yet. You have to have a mortgage. You have to like Keith Sweat and want to go to Keith Sweat concerts.
August, how old are you?
I am 50 years old.
Girl, literally just caught an attitude with her boyfriend because he held the door open for me when I'm walking in the gas station. Baby, this is what y'all just got out. Baby, it's safe with me, baby.
Man, I think about it sometimes and I'm like, my life would be so much easier if I just liked nice guys, right? If I liked guys who were honest, guys who were kind, generous, thoughtful man who's gonna bring me flowers or something, I don't know. If I liked guys who just went out of their way and thought about me. The bare minimum. If I just liked guys who gave me the bare minimum, that would be awesome. But I am a little bit more below than that, right? I like liars. I do. I'm going to admit it. I like men who are assholes. Men who are going to treat me like I do. I like men who are going to go out of their way to make me jealous. And then they come back and I'm like, babe, why'd you do that? I like to feel something because I'm a pretty happy person, pretty peaceful person on my own. So when I have a guy come in and up my life and make me feel something, I'm like, I love this. I love this. This is so great. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Okay, I didn't ask for this life. I didn't choose this life. This life chose me. Okay, I didn't ask my dad to leave. He just did.
Question for the men. How much time does she have left on that imaginary timeline that you put on her? And is she going to get an extension?
Comment here says she just signed her 4th contract extension. Another guy says she had a maxed contract, talked about re-signing, but she took her talents elsewhere. There was tampering involved. Now I'm rebuilding and willing to tank until I find my next star to build around. Another guy says she started an argument on Christmas. Contract negotiations have ceased. Another guy says the contract expired in November. We're in negotiations right now, but it seems like she wants a multi-million-dollar deal, and we're not even considering that.
Recently watched this girl's video about like the frequency of couples and like having sex or whatever, and she said something about how when you are in the habit of it, it's like easier, and she said that they have sex like every other day, and I didn't think anything of that. Then I went to the comment section, and the comment section was like every other day, like that, like every single comment was like, that's crazy, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like there were so many comments that were like, I literally don't even have sex 2 times a month. Like there was comments that were like, I literally have sex with my husband like every 6 months. And I was like, what the hell? And you know what? Today I saw the other side, and I see why people are literally every 6 months maybe just throwing a like pity romp or something, because literally me and my husband have like tasks that are our own. And I had to go to the dentist. We're both sick. Like this time of year is more difficult because obviously the holiday season and grief. And the last couple of nights, because we had like a Halloween party and all this stuff, we were like, we just don't feel like doing the extra stuff, because we also just started like a new workout routine. So we both have like been kind of slacking on our routine, which is always every single night we do a pickup after the kids go to sleep. Okay, well, today I literally had to spend 4 hours doing the dishes, and that's not my job. I don't do the dishes. And then I had to change the cat litter. Mind you, I have never changed the cat litter one time since we've lived in our house for 6 years. I didn't even know where the scoop was, and I was so irrationally mad at my husband, because it literally was not even his fault. I didn't even want to text him and be like, where's the scoop? So I literally was just like looking for it forever, only to find it inside the litter box. I'm like, I should probably know where that is, but no, because that's not my task and I don't do it, okay? And this is why the man gets it regularly, because he's helpful and he doesn't put an extra like load of stress on me. So then his mom is over and she's like, this is a lot of dishes. And I said, yeah, I know. I texted him and was like, this is what happens when you don't do your 20 minutes of dishes at night. I have to spend 4 hours doing them. Please don't do that again. Even though it was like, you know, both of us. And she's like, oh, it's hard. It's hard for him because he works all day. I said, I work all day. And she said, well, I always did everything. I did the dishes, man. And I said, I don't care. I didn't marry your husband. I married mine. And my standards are higher than that, okay? I do a lot of stuff. And I'm not doing that. We have an agreement. He does his things. I do mine. Granted, neither of us did our things, but it left me doing both of them. And obviously, like if I would have left his tasks, he would have did them tonight and that would have been fine. But I don't want to deal with a whole kitchen full of dishes and a cat litter box that smells bad, okay? But all of this to say, I understand why people are not having sex.
So basically, you're making a problem where there is none. Go take a nap. Go make a sandwich. Go watch a TV show. But whatever you do, just shut up talking. Once again, we don't call women losers enough.
I don't think that black men are like the gayest, I guess, group there is. You know, they say like, oh, like 50% or 75% of black men are gay or something like that. Something weird, something outrageously high like that, right? I actually think it's the black women that are gay. If you really, really, really sit back and think about it, black women are masculine, they're narcissists, and they're gay. Because they're kissing each other, they're sleeping in the same bed, they're having these lingerie parties that no men are invited to. It's like everything that they're doing is pointing to gay, but it's just so undercover that I don't think, like, you know, that we're actually counting it in the census, because they're claiming it's not gay. They're claiming they're just friends. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that when a girl starts drinking, another girl might start kissing on her and feeling on her and seeing where it might go. These girls' trips is just fuck trips. And everybody knows, like, sometimes when they're in a relationship, they're having sex with their friends and stuff like that. And the boy don't know, because he's not going to check what you're doing with your homegirl. You know what I mean? And then when you get in a relationship, black women try to sabotage it to the end. They will sit there and talk bad about that man. They're not happy for you in no sense of the word, and they get jealous when you're spending time with your husband instead of them, you know. And so I really, really, really think that the numbers are pretty skewed on that one. I really think that there's a lot more black gay women than what society has been led to believe.
Who started this whole idea that men don't like women? Can someone explain it to me? Because what men don't like is the entitlement. What men don't like is the fact that so many women get on this app and talk about things that they want on the first date, and the expectation is like a yacht party with unlimited bottles while their friends rack up a tab and the men have to pay for it. And these men don't owe you anything. Men are tired of getting used. They're getting tired of being manipulated for the highest bidder. When they want loving, healthy relationships with people that know how to articulate their feelings and aren't expected to wait 3 days for a text back if a date went well. They're tired of the games. They're tired of the BS. They would just want real. And most of y'all don't even know yourselves enough to be real. And the only women that think that men don't like women are the women that are only surrounding themselves with men who are immature, lack emotional intelligence, don't know what they want. They attract exactly who they are and they don't like it. Men absolutely will use women as their motivator to be better, do better, be all of the things that a woman needs if she's freaking worth it. And the majority of women have not been acting like they're worth it. Men can't even get the bare minimum, which is basically cooking and cleaning. Y'all will complain about that, but that's a man's bare minimum, and y'all don't even want to do that. But then you expect him to take you to a 5-star dining experience and have all of these grand gestures while y'all just sit back and what? Go get your hair and your nails done? Make it make sense. Most of y'all are rude, cannot even reciprocate anything, and then want to say that men don't like you. Well, they don't like you because you're selfish, entitled, and don't even know how to act like a mature adult. Okay, bye.
Tell me why it only seems like women don't know how money works. Like, this is not something I normally would think about or care about unless you make it my problem. So I've known my roommate Chloe since we were like 15 years old, like went to dance together, went to school together. But I'm only calling her my roommate now after the bridge she burned. Chloe's the type of girl who has like 4 different credit cards, low-key has a shopping addiction, and you can just tell that she doesn't know how money works. And normally this wouldn't be an issue, but the two of us split a place. Like, we spent rent $1,500 each. So one day she comes home from work and she is telling me that her coworker put her on the best hack ever. And she's like, this is how I'm gonna buy everything I want. I was like, okay, tell me. I want to know how I'm going to buy everything I want too. Because I've been low-key eyeing up this White Fox sweat set, but it's like $200. And I'm not really in a place to be shelling out that kind of money right now. I'm like, tell me, like, what is it? She goes, listen, just in 4 easy payments. And when I heard that, I was like, please don't say what I think you're gonna say. She starts telling me that she can buy whatever she wants for the fraction of the price because she only needs to be paying a quarter of it at a time. It's basically free. Like, what? You can probably guess she's talking about Klarna, but this is where I wish she stopped talking, because my girl, she's a little bit slow, okay? So she explains to me that if she buys clothes with Klarna and then resells it on Depop, she is basically making money at the end of the day. So I tried to explain to Chloe that her grand scheme doesn't make sense. You know why, I know why, but for Chloe, it's just not clicking. And we split rent, so I'm not letting her become my financial burden. Little did I know. So you'd think after our little conversation, there wouldn't be a problem, right? There was a huge problem. So Chloe just says, you know what, you're probably right, and just drops it. And rent's coming up next week, and we're continuing on, like, going out together, eating cute dinners together. She's even bringing me presents from work. And honestly, I am just more surprised that she actually listened to my advice. So we've been cool for a bit, okay? And the thing about our living situation is that I'm in charge of the rent. So a week before, I'll always go and knock on her door and remind her, like, hey, rent's coming up, like, all that good stuff. But on this day, I walk up to Chloe's door, knock on it, and I see her curled up on her bed, sitting on her phone, crying. And I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? What happened? But what she told me next made me livid. As she was sitting there crying, she goes, Jackie, please don't be mad at me. I didn't listen to you. And then she keeps going and says, like, Jackie, I did the thing you told me not to do. I even used it on DoorDash. I thought it was a quarter of the price. I thought I was saving money. Girl, I already told you, it's not the quarter of the price. You end up paying for the full price at the end of the day. Like, what do you not comprehend? And then she says to me, I just checked my credit card statement and I owe $3,000 to the bank. And I have no way to pay for my credit card or rent. At this point, I am just pissed off. So I'm like, what are you gonna do then? Like, how are you gonna pay for rent? Because I'm not paying for you. Like, you're not becoming my burden. Like, what happened to the money you're earning from work? He goes, Jackie, I used all my paycheck on this Klarna thing. And I remind her again, like, girl, rent is due next week. How are you gonna pay for it? And that's when she says to me, Jackie, we've been friends for like forever now. Like, would you mind paying for my rent? Girl, what do I look like to you? A bank? And I don't say this to her face, but it's all I'm thinking. I'm like, you're a grown-ass woman. You made a mistake. You made a mess. And I'm not going to be cleaning it up for you. I say to her, like, you either figure out a way to pay for rent or you're out of here. Because I'm not covering your share. Like, either call your mom, call your boyfriend, whatever, but you're not living here for free. And I'm not a charity, right? So now I'm stuck paying her share of the rent, which is $1,500. I don't have a 6-figure salary. At least I have $1,000 saved up in my PayPal for my side hustle doing class action lawsuits. So I get paid here and there, but I'm pretty much for the next 30 days. And she just made her problem my problem. It's safe to say that Chloe and I are not friends anymore. But some people should not be able to buy online, to have credit cards, or to have access to Afterpays. But at least I still make some extra cash from PayMe on the side, because otherwise I'd be on the streets too.
It's a bunch of foolishness. And, even after, this is what a lot of men go through with a lot of modern women. You tell them to do something, they don't listen. And then at the end of the day, you end up having to bail them out. Men are tired of that. Men have grown weary, absolutely fatigued of that foolishness. And now that a man is saying, hey, I'm not going to continue doing that anymore, modern women get mad and
a lot of y'all women will want a man to be faithful to you, but you will be willing to be the side chick of a married man and then say, oh, well, that's him, that he's the one who had the who got the vows, not me. Harming another woman, but then you would want a man to be faithful to you. You're not creating the conditions for men to be faithful. You realize that, right? And then that's why a lot of men won't even respect us women. Because as long as there's women out there who don't respect other women, why the hell would a man respect women? We don't even respect each other. We don't respect the vows and commitments. As long as we're making money from it, we don't respect it for men. We don't care if he got a wife and a family at home. We don't respect each other. Why would a man respect us if we don't respect each other? Part 2 on why an all-woman island is the dumbest thing I've ever heard and it would never work. Y'all do realize, right? So y'all going to decenter men to just center women. If y'all on an all-woman island, women are going to start coupling up, which is going to lead to the same bad behavior that you see now when it comes to coupling up. You guys are going to be competing, lying, envious, manipulative, and y'all going to be cheating on the other women. Just look at same-sex relationships. Women cheat on other women still. Then on top of that, y'all do realize that most of these heinous crimes that men can pull off, it always is a woman that's aiding and abetting it against other women and children. So prime example, Jeffrey Epstein. Giselle was key in that ring. And then half of the men who attend those places, they have wives. You think their wives don't know what be going on? Their wives don't care. Look at the industry and how many women right now are participating in the industry, and that's not telling or warning the common folk of what's going on. Why? Because women aren't inherently good people or better people than men. They're doing the same stuff that the men are doing. On top of that, look at even with J-Lo, Cassie, and the girl who died for Diddy, the main girl. What's that lady name? Kim. First off, J-Lo and Cassie snake Kim. Those are women harming other women because they knew that he was with them. But for that money, they're going to do whatever. Then on top of that, these women knew what he was doing. They knew he was drugging people. They knew he was killing people. They knew he was doing all type of stuff. So I just want y'all to stop being naive as women, as to the harm that other women cause. Like, bad people, narcissistic people, demonic people are in both genders. And if y'all open up this island, y'all naive women is going to attract the same narcissistic, toxic women that's going to do y'all worse than the men. Okay? So that, because women who pee like me, we know better about y'all women. We ain't falling for it. And then on top of that, y'all do realize that the same men that y'all complain about was probably raised by an abusive mother or some type of dysfunctional mom. Look at P. Diddy. His mom was instrumental in creating him. And them same moms enabled their sons to do stuff to other women. These are women. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. These are character issues. These are not gender specific things. On top of that, most male serial killers complain about abusive moms. Part 3 on why an all women's island would never work, and it's a stupid idea. Y'all do realize that a lot of innocent men were hanged and killed because of women's lies. Like, let's just think about Emmett Till. That was very prevalent back then, but those were women who were doing that. Y'all do realize that a lot of women and children are literally lured into trafficking by women, by their fellow women. Y'all do realize that women set other women up to be raped. I know women that has happened to, and they were literally set up by another woman. Y'all do realize that even in all women's spaces, it's still this savage behavior. I used to cheer. Do y'all know how much bullying goes on in cheerleading or all women spaces? Just look up all the beef between hairstylists and their customers or nail techs and their customers. You see all out fights. And to be honest, most fighting shows are just all women's spaces. They got baddies and bad girls club dedicated to women fighting, and this is not even including men in it. Go look up fights on the internet. Most of them just gonna be women fighting. You don't even really see men fighting for no reason because they know it's gonna escalate. But women, we fight over the stupidest things. Y'all know how many fights I done got into that was not about men? It was just about jealousy or them hating or... Y'all women are just as bad as the men, and I'm gonna keep screaming that to the rooftops until y'all really get it in y'all mind. Like, y'all are delusional to think that y'all are so much better than men. Y'all are not.
And even with the thing that you were talking about with Cassie, them knowing, that's why the jurors were like, well, we thought he was guilty on, these lesser charges. But as far as these other charges where, Cassie was under his influence and he was just manipulating her and pulling her back in, we don't see that because she came back. She went back to where she was. She didn't have to go back there. She got out, but then she went back to P. Diddy's parties. P. Diddy's party. So there's something there. Well, you don't understand the brain chemistry, this and that. I get it. I understand it. But once again, y'all talking about how terrible the men are, but you're going back into the situation. Even if you go in there to, kind of get whatever it is that you need to get, all right. But you got to understand, like she said, you're helping P. Diddy bring these women in. You know what he's doing. You know how he operates. And you're a part of that. Well, I just felt like, see, with modern women, it's always what they feel. Never any accountability. It's all, well, I felt as though and I thought as if, like that should count when you committed a crime. When you were assisting, like she said, aiding and abetting, like that should matter. Y'all be going after the man. Well, throw the book at him. The fullest extent of the law. Let him have it. But then when it comes to you, oh, well, I'm some poor victim and, I would have never even known. If I did, then I would have never done that. But you did do it. And so now let's make sure you don't do it again by giving you some jail time.
I married the nice guy. The guy who made me laugh. I married the guy who was stable, who didn't yell. I married the guy who wasn't afraid to get down on the floor and play with kids. I married the guy who laughed really loudly, who didn't seem to care if anybody was watching. I married the guy who was soft with me, who listened to me on the phone for hours.
Spoiler alert, guys, they are separated, heading towards divorce, which is so disappointing and exactly why so many will say that a man will sacrifice his happiness for his family and a woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness. And it is exactly when loyalty and commitment is not valued over individual happiness. In these situations, 100% of the time, the grass is not greener, and the woman ends up regretting the divorce. But what's unfair and unfortunate for men oftentimes that are committed, that are loyal, they have to go through this sort of loss, and that kind of stinks.
I'm going to go ahead and say what no one else is willing to say. So if you're a lover girl or a mediocre man, go ahead and click off this video because you won't like it, or you can cry in the comments. In order for us to achieve peace on planet Earth and get the things that we want to get out of this life, we're going to have to delete 90% of men. Yes, that includes your awful baby daddy and your ancient father. So if I was president of the universe, we would literally structure society so that we can finally achieve a matriarchy. But in order to do that, we have to get rid of most men because let's just face it, most men are not going to change. There's literally not enough time on planet Earth to change the heart of a trash man, and there's nothing you can do. You would literally need the second coming of Christ in order to change some of these men on this planet. And so what I am suggesting is that we literally get rid of them using the science that we already have. Elon Musk has said that by the year 2031, we will be able to support life on planet Mars. So I'm suggesting that we ship 90%, the bottom 90% of men to Mars so that we can achieve the patriarchy. And what does that leave us with? That leaves us with the top 10% of men, 5% of which are the men who are loyal to their wives and devoted husbands. And the other 5% are the men who have amazing gene pool, great IQ, good bone structure, good hair, skin, tall, fine as fuck. You know what I'm talking about.
Yo, instead of doing all that, all you have to do is pack your bags and go to Mars. A lot of us don't want to do that, so we shouldn't have to go through that for you. You and the women who feels that way can pack your shit and go to Mars. According to you, all the women that are left on Earth is going to have to sleep with the 10% that's there. And y'all are okay with that. I thought you weren't okay with sharing a man. I thought men should only be loyal to one woman. How is that going to work? Doesn't make sense, does it?